Hey everybody, welcome back to Red Lipstick Club reality. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. So obviously I took a break. Thank you to all the big channels that have been like keeping everyone afloat and knowing what's happening and the Sister Wives universe. I didn't have the time, but the season started today. I like how Discovery Plus and Max played us and said you guys have to wait for a normal premiere time. They think they're House of the Dragon, but I'm not shocked because I feel like everybody and their mom that's been a Sister Wives fan has been waiting for this premiere. I was ready for it. So obviously we're like a couple years behind at this point. I don't know how you all feel. I'm kind of curious how you feel about being this far behind. And if you've been following any of them on social media or watching any of the other reaction channels, we basically know where they're at in their lives right now. So this is super delayed. We already know Mary's left. We already know Janelle has left. And they're basically starting this season right where it left off last year. And it's even before the tell-all from last year. So I think that tell-all was like a year ago when they did the 3-part tell-all. What we're seeing now was even before then. This was like still when Janelle was still with Cody. So it's very far behind. I feel like they need to figure this out. I don't know what they're going to do to catch it up, but I'm a little irritated that we might have to sit through an entire season of a show that's 2-3 years behind. And let's speed it up. So as the show starts, I think that's why I was really frustrated, is because we're still having conversations outside and not inside of homes. If I have to be outside on the patio at Robin's house for one more second, I'm just like, is this because of COVID or because your house is giving us signs of you being a shopaholic? I'm just kind of curious why we're never filming in her home, even if it's just her. It's just, I don't know. It's very odd to me. I need some answers for why we're still filming outside. So we watch her and Mary go back and forth. Watching Robin is very confusing for me as a viewer. And maybe she hasn't been on the same show, I guess, or doesn't realize she's on the same show that I've been watching, or maybe she doesn't realize that she's even been on a show that's been recording and we've watched everything happen. But even somebody that doesn't know you guys and has literally only seen your life play out through this show, which is all of us, we could have clearly seen that Cody and Christine were having issues for years. And you were the ultimate catalyst to push them over the edge. It was one thing for her to deal with a man that was stretched thin, according to him, and wouldn't help her when she needed help with those kids, right? Because he really wasn't helping anybody at that point. So it didn't feel like he was necessarily being unfair to Christine, because he was really not very present for any of the women. And I think they honestly just saw the whole situation as, well, at least we're in one house and we at least see him. I think they gave him a pass. But once Christine saw that he could be a very active and present father, which is what he was demonstrating with Robin's children, that's when things really started to go downhill, because it was a clear representation that Christine could see to symbolize, this man is not giving me everything he has, because I'm physically watching him give somebody else everything he has. So the excuses that he was giving her, where he was spread thin, or this is a polygamous arrangement and this is why I can't help you, all those things were null and void when you're watching him give another wife what he's telling you he cannot give to you. So I don't know how anybody watching this show, let alone being on this show, would be in season 18 asking themselves, how did we get here? Or why is this like this? Or what did I miss? To say she had on blinders is an understatement. And I think we all know, just like Robin knows that she was the catalyst to the demise of these marriages. There's no way around it. And it doesn't mean that she was the only person accountable to that, because Cody shared 50% of that blame because he was the husband and he allowed himself to lose sight of what it was to be a polygamist, where you treat these women fairly, you take care of all of your children, you invest in all of your children. One cannot be put over the other. You don't compare your relationships. You don't withhold things from wives, because ultimately, if you do that as a polygamous man, you have an advantage, right? Because you can technically go to another wife's house and get affection, get attention. A wife can't do that. So that's why it's really important just to keep everything fair, is you don't have the ability to withhold over things like behavior. It's very childish and trivial. So I've never had a man in my life tell me something like that, where like they were withholding something or their attractiveness was based off behavior. Like I was a child. That still makes me sick to this day hearing that. So watching Robin have this, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what happened scenario is crazy to me. And Mary's the wrong person for her to talk to, because Mary doesn't have the guts. Number one, because she's low on friends. But two, she doesn't have the guts to call Robin out and say, Robin, how could you be this blind? You'll do it in the confessional, but you won't tell Robin to her face, Robin, come on now, girl. This isn't brand new. She was having these problems even back in Flagstaff. And when you met us as a family, I don't know how you or anybody could think that a plural family would be free and void of issues. I also have a huge problem with Robin using the term safe. And I don't know if it's because I don't know if this is a cultural thing where they use the word safe as a supplemental word for emotionally not a good space for me. Safe feels immediate to me, like you're in actual danger, like physical danger. And the way they, not just Robin, but a lot of them utilize the word safe to me is very odd. It's very odd to me how they use it. I don't like how it was used in this at all. And maybe it's because Robin had that whole, what she claimed, domestic violence issue in her prior marriage. We don't know what. I'm not dismissing what she says, but I also don't know his story. So I have to stay neutral on that. But she acted for years as if she was coming from a domestic violence situation. So when she says, I was wanting to move my children from this space, wanting them to be in a safe space, and then claiming that this family was not safe, is very odd to me. Is anybody else a little confused by that? Because if you're basically saying my kids didn't get exactly what I wanted them to get out of this scenario, that doesn't mean it wasn't safe. That just means it wasn't ideal. That it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. But unless you can give me proof and credit that your children were abused, I'm sorry, but no. Anytime you're bringing in children into an already existing family, that is going to take some transition and some time in which a lot of you, unfortunately, I don't feel like we're willing to give the other kids. And when those other children were maybe seeing some favoritism towards Robin's children, that isn't always the easiest thing to understand. And I don't know if there was that much grace given. And as we continue, I mean, let's just call out the elephant in the room. I want to know why it was a priority for Dayton to get cosmetic surgery on his eye, and it wasn't a priority for Isabel to get surgery on her scoliosis back. That right there is a perfect example of favoritism that they just want to gloss completely over. Never mind the way Cody supported Robin through her child having to go under. He did that for Dayton. He also did it for Solomon when he went under as well, right? The support that he lent to her when Solomon had his tooth, I believe he had to get his teeth cleaned. I think that's it. I don't really remember. And then Dayton had to get his eye fixed. You know, Robin was like in distress over these things. And these were like not crazy over the top operations. Any parent, I'm assuming you don't want to see your kid go under, but compared to when like Truly, for instance, was going to die, she was like near death. The responses from Christine compared to Robin are night and day. And I'm wondering if Robin has some, what do they call it? Hypochondriac. She's a bit of a hypochondriac. And I feel like she kind of puts that on her kids and just makes you panic and just, you know, overanalyze every situation. But the fact that Cody was not there for Christine when her child had to go under and had to get surgery because she was in everyday pain, it just shows that favoritism. And I don't know why we're acting like that's not happening. Robin is just still playing Captain Save a Cody. I mean, waving the white flag for Cody, like, oh, we need to take up the mantle, Mary, to take up for him. He's just been beaten down. Oh, it's so rough for him. And dragging Mary into that when he's ignored Mary for a decade. It's just like, come on. Come on. Poor Savannah over there floating on her own. You know, her daddy probably hasn't seen her in months. Who knows? Like, he just hasn't shown up for anybody. You guys, this episode, it was okay. It didn't really reveal anything. I think all it did was make me more mad at Robin and had her personally get on my nerves even more, and just had me look at her like, you've got to be the most delusional person in a marriage I've ever seen. I've never seen this level of delusion of somebody that's actually lived it. We only see the TV version and we can see it as clear as day. You're living this. And you mean to tell me you didn't have a clue that his marriages were tanking? Not a clue, huh? I don't know, you guys. We'll see what happens next episode. They really didn't give a preview. They just re-showed the trailer, which is kind of whack. So now I can't even really anticipate what the next episode is going to be. Are we going to get to is it going to automatically be the fight with Janelle and Cody? I kind of would love to get that out the way and keep this season moving. And maybe I'm hoping to God that they're going to fast forward through this. And we're only going to get like 2 or so episodes of this 2021 shenanigans. And we're going to fast forward to like mid 2022 and keep this party rolling, because it's so delayed. If I have to sit through a whole year of 2021 again, I'm going to scream. So I'm hoping that that's not what they're going to do. Anywho, you guys, stay tuned. I will be reviewing each episode this year. Hopefully they're going to be showing them early, and only the premiere was going to be at 7. So hopefully next week we'll get it at least right at midnight on Sunday morning, or at least Sunday morning, like, so we can kind of watch it and we can get this done early. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Red Lipstick Club. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Please like the video, share with your friends, and get in those comments. Tell me how you felt about the first episode. Tell me what you thought about Robin feeling very oblivious to what's going on. Were you as confused as I was? I really want to know. Anyway, see you guys next week.